What's up, bros? Welcome to another Brograph Brocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And we're finally back after a 2-week hiatus. It feels like it's been forever.
It really does. Truly does.
Here's what the show is about, in case you're just joining us. If you're a new viewer, new Twitter follower, or whatnot, this is a show where we talk about motion graphics stuff in the industry, Cinema 4D, After Effects, freelancing, everything. Just about everything. We get geeky. We talk about tech stuff, movies, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But it's all very motion graphics centric.
Yes.
If you will.
Motion graphics, 3D animation. Really, we talk a lot about the industry.
That's about the industry.
And, you know, it's especially good for freelancers and people who are, you know, going out to make it on their own and stuff.
It's a supplement to our video tutorials, and I started talking about it a lot on the tutorials at the beginning. I'll give like a little plug for the podcast and say, look, if you like these and you like having a little tutorial now and then, but you really want to hear more about this stuff in depth, and you don't want to sit there and watch like 2 hours of us and our ugly faces saying stuff, you know, put it on the radio on your way to work or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I have been super sick, so you're going to have to excuse my voice. I've literally been in bed for like 5 days without getting up. It's been a freaking nightmare. So
I don't know. 5 days in bed sounds pretty awesome to me.
After day 2, man, when you've seen everything on Reddit and you've surfed Facebook and you've like watched Making a Murderer.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Well, I got to the verdict. No spoilers. We won't talk about it.
Dude,
I got to
after
the
the second episode, I just Googled it and I wanted to find out about it.
Oh. It's like Serial, the video series or something. You know, it's whatever. So,
Have you been listening to the new season of Serial?
I have. I think I'm like one episode behind. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm starting to get into it.
Yeah, I felt like this last episode wasn't super great, but episode 2 and 3 were awesome.
I wasn't sure at first what I thought when they said Bo Bergdahl. I'm like, what? That's so mainstream. But
yeah, I was thinking so too.
But so podcast, So if you're new, welcome.
Yep. If you're old, welcome back.
If you're old, welcome back. Now, here's the thing. We were planning on taking Sunday off because of the New Year. We were both going to be out of town for New Year's. And the week before, your house kind of got hit by a tornado.
Yes. It was awesome. Not really. It's kind of the worst thing ever. So man, I got really lucky because, so my wife and I and my kid, we were over at my in-laws' house, which is only 4 minutes down the street. Literally 4 minutes down the street. Mm-hmm. So we were having crazy weather in Dallas and, we hear the tornado sirens going off. And, you know, in Texas, when you hear tornado sirens going off, I don't know if you do this, but I know I've always done this. You're just like, whatever. It's probably just bad wind, you know?
Or it's in your county, but your county is so big, you're like, oh, that's northwest.
Totally.
And we're down near southeast. So.
Right. I mean, because technically I'm in Dallas County, and Dallas County reaches a long way.
And I even texted you. I'm like, bro, you all right up there? I saw some stuff up there.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, it's fine.
Well, because here's the funny thing. When you're in a tornado, you were the last person to know that there was actually a tornado. Mm-hmm. Because we had tons of people like texting us and calling us being like, are you okay? Are you okay? And we're like, yeah, we're fine. What was there? Was there something? You know?
Yeah.
Because everyone was like looking at the news stuff and seeing like mass destruction everywhere. Mm-hmm. And it was an EF4 tornado. Yeah. So, excuse me. So anyway, I'm over at my in-laws' place. We're just having a good time. Tornado sirens go off. We're like, whatever, you know, we're still sitting around. And then the power goes out. And we're like, okay, well, maybe let's get, you know, in a safer area. There's 19 of us over there. Jeez. So we huddle in the hallway, you know, and then the tornado sirens turn off. And we're like, okay, whatever. So power's still out. My wife, she goes into teacher mode, which is awesome. So because she could tell that a couple of the kids there were kind of scared, so she starts singing Christmas songs, you know, getting them excited. And I have a dog who is the most frightened thing in the entire world. She has the worst anxiety. She's getting really old, so anytime we leave, she just starts shaking like crazy. So
and where was the dog?
At home.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I told my wife, I said, I'm going to go check on the dog, make sure she's okay. So I drive down the street. What is normally a 4-minute drive took me 45 minutes. Now there is no power in the area. So I still didn't know a tornado had hit. I just thought there was like crazy, crazy winds.
Yeah.
So like I'm driving down the street, and there are downed power lines, and I'm driving over power lines,
God.
Yeah. So, and
anybody who heard the news, like anybody who heard about this, like, and probably heard about this on TV nationally.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a big deal.
My brother, his wife is from Taiwan, and it was news there.
Yeah.
So they were calling her asking if we were okay.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm driving down the street. I can't turn left to get onto the main road where my street's off of. So I go to the next road. So I go down to the next road. There's 4 different entrances to my house, my street. I get through 3 of them and have to turn around because there's like a downed tree, what I thought was a tree. And there's debris all over the roads and stuff like that. Ended up popping one of my tires to top it all off, which was fantastic. And I finally make it home 45 minutes later. And meanwhile, the tornado had knocked over a cell tower. So if you're in a certain area, you couldn't get any cell service. And I call my next door neighbor. I'm like, hey, is the house okay? And she's like, oh, I said, no, we're not home. And she goes, oh, I know you're not home. And then it clicks off. And I'm like, what does that mean? Do I have a house? So.
Why did they say, I know you're not home?
Oh, because, she was home. And we're really close with our next door neighbors. Like,
oh, so they went to check.
Yeah, so they went to go check on us, And so I finally make it home, and our house, like our street is okay up until you get to like right before our house, and then there's just debris everywhere. And so we got really lucky. I was telling my wife, I said, we got a little bit of survivor guilt because we were literally on the edge of it. And so there's debris all over our lawn and all over our road and stuff like that. And, we had a couple of holes in our roof, and a big thing of someone's roof hit our garage. Luckily, my car wasn't outside, because most of the time I parked my car outside. It was in the garage, but it jacked up my garage.
Stuck in the garage.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And so, I had to pay to get that fixed in order to get my car out. And then, there was no rain or anything. It was just all this bad stuff. And like literally one street over, all the houses are gone. They're just rubble.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah. And it's funny, when me and my wife, we were looking at houses. We almost bought one of the houses just down the street that had the entire left side of it ripped off.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's crazy, man.
It's and we didn't really, we didn't go through it. We weren't there. My dog was okay. She was freaking out. She'd peed everywhere. And we bought her a thunder vest so that she would not have so much anxiety. Yeah, we forgot to put it on that night.
What is a thunder vest?
Oh, okay. So imagine someone giving you a really tight hug. That's what it is. It's a thunder vest. It's basically just a vest that goes around them that squeezes really tight, and supposedly it helps them, not have so much anxiety. It works really well. She sleeps really great. So anyway, what sucked was, so we got a hole in our ceiling, and then it started raining a couple hours later.
Right.
And I couldn't patch that up. I didn't even know there was a hole in our ceiling. We didn't notice it until the next morning when we finally got back to our house, because we had to stay at my mother-in-law's because, we had no power. So water soaked through. It soaked through into our master bedroom. The whole ceiling is like sagging right now. Jeez. Yeah. So we got
it didn't leak above that octane machine.
Oh my gosh. You have no idea. You have no idea. Like, and everywhere, like, we got so lucky because right where the water was dripping through, it was a place where we didn't have any furniture. We didn't have, our bed. We didn't have anything. It was just carpet. So we put a couple buckets down so it can catch it. We come back later on in the day. Oh, the cat was thirsty, so we decided to knock over the entire bucket. That was
counterproductive.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So we weren't able to patch up the roof until a couple days later. We had like 2 giant holes in there.
And how long did it take to get the power back on?
50 hours.
Man.
50 hours. So 50 hours to finally get the power back on. And we were lucky because like 2 houses down, they didn't get their power back. Like, yeah, they didn't get any power back.
Yeah.
So they were going around house to house and making sure that, they were good enough to have power. Mm-hmm. We were lucky though. We have gas, water heater. So we were able to take a hot shower, which was great, and so so me and my wife, we were leaving for DC like the next day or something or 2 days later on the 28th, and it happened on the 26th. Mm-hmm. And the cops are blocking off the roads to our neighborhood. We cannot get into our neighborhood without parking at a gas station a mile away and walking to our house. And we had to show our ID, which was awesome because they were looking out for looters and stuff like that, which was cool.
But still, there's got to be an easier way for you to get to your house. What if you had a baby, like an infant baby?
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful having to deal with that. So I have to go to work, because I just had to. So I went to work for like half a day because I had some work I had to finish up. And my wife called me. She's like, I don't think we can go on this vacation. I was like, I really want to go because we're going to Washington, D.C. I've never been, and I was super excited. So she's like, they're not letting us into our neighborhood. I can't get in. Oh, and they told us they weren't going to let us in for 6 hours the day before. And they didn't let us in for 2 days. Man. So I tell my boss, I say, hey, can I take a half day so that I can get home and get all this stuff taken care of because we're supposed to fly out at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So I finally, I get home. We walk a mile to our house with these little portable wagons, finally get everything packed, get everything done, and then we leave the next day. We hadn't had Christmas put away. We blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so...
Day after Christmas, right?
Yeah. And so we get back on last Sunday, and our house is just a mess. We spent days, the day after or 2 days after the tornado, cleaning up our front yard. We were lucky my brother was in town. Amy had her cousins come up and help us. And then we walked from house to house once we had cleaned up our front yard and just helped people do their stuff, clean up. So anyway, we get back last Sunday from DC, which was awesome, by the way. Love DC. Mm-hmm. And we're just so exhausted having to get back into the grind and, blah, blah, blah. We can't clean our house. So finally this weekend, I had a guy call me, see if I wanted to do some freelance work. I said, no, I need this weekend. I got to be able to clean my house. I haven't had a chance since the tornado hit. We got to put up Christmas. We've got to put up our Christmas presents that we got. Our house is a wreck. So yesterday we go, and with our power being out for 50 hours, everything in our fridge went bad. So we threw all that away.
That sucks.
Yeah, we threw all that away. And yesterday morning, my wife and I, we went up to Walmart and we bought some more stuff to replenish our stock in our refrigerator and blah, blah, blah. And we had to clean it all out because it was gross and disgusting. So I finally get everything out and I'm like, man, I am so glad I'm not going to have to deal with that ever again, or at least not for a while. Power went out yesterday for 7 hours.
Well, that's not too long with the fridge. You're good on the fridge.
No, but the fridge had already been room temperature because I had it open.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So 7 hours with no power. I was so pissed yesterday because, and we couldn't do any cleaning. We couldn't vacuum. We couldn't do anything. We didn't have any lights. So,
you need a porta-jenny.
I know, right? I told my wife, I said, we're going to get a generator.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny because 3 years ago, the day after Christmas, it iced over really bad. And we lost power for 2 days, and then this happens. I'm just worried what's going to happen next year.
Yeah. I've actually talked to some people before who told me about those. You can get them to where like your power goes out and you go out back and you switch it. Mm-hmm. And just on the main breaker, you don't have to like even run cables inside. You just switch it on the main breaker and turn it on.
Oh, that's cool.
And it just runs the house.
That's super cool.
Until you get the power back, and then you go switch power back to the grid.
Need to get one of those Elon Musk things.
Yeah, those battery thingies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was in Vegas the same time you were in DC.
Yeah, totally.
Which that's the reason we weren't doing the next show, was because we were doing that. And good old Vegas, man. I put 10 on black for you.
Yeah.
You won.
And did you let it ride?
Yeah, I let it ride for a while.
Did I end up with any money? Or do I owe you $10?
Man, I don't know, because I started mixing it up, putting on odds and evens.
I started mixing it up, and I was drinking heavily. I don't remember anything.
And it was 3 a.m, so...
Were you Did you play any of the craps like me and Christy were liking to play?
No, because I don't know craps. I did blackjack and roulette. And,
but you were playing video blackjack. You don't want to play video blackjack.
I love video blackjack.
You always lose though.
Yeah, it didn't do bad.
All right,
it didn't do bad. So of course that got me thinking about NAB.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're talking about that. So any listeners who go to NAB, who are thinking about going to NAB, haven't been to NAB, should go to NAB.
Mm-hmm. Luke,
NAB.
We're looking at you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And our fan, as we say, got to go to NAB. We're going to hang out. We're going to do all sorts of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get a limo again.
That was fun.
That was fun. We're going to probably, I don't know. We're thinking about being there long term.
Mm-hmm.
If we do it like last year, we bring the wives for a couple days and then they go home and do their thing. And then we,
nerd
do
out
all the nerdy stuff. So
yeah.
We'll see. And fingers crossed, we send in something to Maxon.
Yeah.
To look at.
Maxon was looking for people. So
yeah. So, I mean,
so
I don't know.
If you want to see us at NAB presenting at the Maxon booth, then you need to email Maxon or tweet at them and say, hey, you should get these people.
Please, be like, you guys need to get at Brograph at NAB. We want to see him there presenting. So I sent him some material that was more relevant. Like I sent him like a reel, I think, and I sent him the piece that I just finished with Octane so they could kind of see some Octane work. Because I think like if we present, it'll be something about Octane. And
I would
my
think so.
whole thing, and I wish I could have had more, like the comment fields and stuff weren't that big. What I really want to do as our gimmick is the two of us present together because that's something that no one else is doing, and that would be kind of cool. We could do something even kind of comical or whatever, and just and then go into something about Octane and how we use Octane in our workflow and maybe Dropbox and whatnot. But I'm not going to get too excited about it. We're pretty small in comparison to some others, and I think
totally.
There's a million good people out there. I was happy though. Otoy retweeted the holiday card yesterday.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot of fun to present about Octane. I sent him the thing about Octane bottles, the mini doc, so they could see kind of a behind the scenes documentary type feel thing as well.
Word.
About explaining things kind of in long form.
Mm-hmm.
So. We'll see. But, yeah, we would love to see everybody out there. It's going to be good.
We always have a good time.
Yeah. So, I got 6 weeks of tutorials in the can this week, which is good. Finally, I got the part 2 of the displacement thing. I should have been more realistic with the holidays. Finally got the displacement and noise tutorial number 2 done. The next one is going to come out this week. It's already done, and all I have to do, it's even uploaded, all I have to do is make it live.
Mm-hmm.
It is technically part 3 on noise, but it is about the multi-shader and how you use noise with the multi-shader and then bringing in sound as well to control the multi-shader. Just to kind of do kind of obscure, kind of artsy stuff with it, which is kind of fun.
Cool.
And then I've got some other ones in the can as well. I'll just, on the fly, kind of bring them up here, see if I can remember what the other ones are. There's one on how to, now this is a bad term for it, but not bake MoGraph, but to mix down your geometry from MoGraph. Because, have you ever wanted to put like a bunch of objects in a container and it's like, well, this would be easy if I could just dump them in here with MoGraph and they'd all kind of fall into place.
Yeah, totally.
Well, then what happens if you want to manipulate those individual objects? You can't.
I wouldn't you just... Oh, you're talking about when they're still MoGraph? Like...
Right. Like how would you mix those down? You'd say, oh, I just hit C. Well, you can't do that. current state to object. Can't do that. Like there's a certain order of operations you got to do in order to make it work, so that you can then mix down to current state to object, and then each individual object becomes its own object, its own geometry.
Word. Cool.
I did how to create a cyc wall.
Cool.
Because there's a lot of different ways to do that. And what else did I do? I did one on navigating the viewport as a noob, or maybe even if you're not a noob, if you're more intermediate, but you've never really thought about it before. If you're not fast at navigating the viewport, it can be detrimental, and a lot of people I see struggling with it. Mm-hmm. So I wrote something about it. You see a lot of people working, and you take it for granted. You think, okay, well, obviously they know how to get around the viewport, so I'm going to give them a tutorial. Well, maybe they can't even get around the viewport and follow you navigating the viewport as fast as you are, because you get it down to a science after a while.
Yeah, totally. When I was doing my 3ds Max tutorials, like, I'm just like, just tell me how to navigate. I need to know how to rotate around something or something, because it's not the same.
That's the hardest thing, and I think that the defaults that Maxon has are not ideal for somebody who's new and is
or
really
even moving over from another program. Like the 1, 2, 3s, that's completely different.
Yeah, I mean, there's other ways to do 1, 2, and 3. There's other keys, but there's 1, 2, 3 ERT. So,
yep.
All right, and no, that might be all. I might have had one other one, but I don't know where that is. And then I'm going to do some more complicated ones here pretty soon too. I mean, we've always dug into like fundamentals, or how to do something real specific. I'd like to do some more complicated, follow along, long form, like the Mountain Cola bottle one, things like that.
I want to redo the cola bottle one.
Yeah. Oh, and somebody asked about doing a lathe version of that, as opposed. I'm sorry.
A
lathe version.
Yeah.
Which I was thinking about doing that and doing it as like a liquor bottle, because God knows I have a lot of experience in that.
Yeah, seriously.
And doing like a liquor bottle lathe one, and you do the cola one, and that way you and I both have a version of how to build a bottle a different way.
Totally.
So, Cinema 4D Club. DFWC4D. So I have been thinking more about that, and I think February, March, if you're a DFW person, just be listening for that. We'll give more details. We're going to start this club going. I have got a lot of people who are already interested, as well as friends and people who have been on the show. I've got a lot of people who could be interested who aren't necessarily in C4D, but they just want to come and see what we do.
Totally.
Like anybody who shows up, like you bring your stuff, say, here's what I've been doing. And they're just interested. There's a lot of people who are just maybe video guys in general, or documentary guys or shooters or whatever, and they don't know about cinema and they want to see more. So it doesn't even have to be that specific. So if you know anybody who would want to do this, let me know. And we want to do like Chicago C4D. We want to help start a name for all of these guys in DFW who do cinema. I've got people at NBC Universal here. They're based out of DFW, like a couple miles from me, actually, here.
Are they really?
Yeah, right by the airport.
Huh, interesting. I didn't know that.
And they create all sorts of stuff. So they told me they're really interested because they have all sorts of like employees and contractors and everybody who would love to come out to one of these.
That'd be cool.
And NBC and also ABC already been chewed.
Oh.
Is also going to come. So
very cool.
That's a really big deal because they're a big name. I mean, they present for Maxon and NAB. That's super awesome.
Front row watching theirs.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's really great right there. So I'm excited about it because of that, because there's so many people interested now. So we'll see where that goes.
Word.
All right. Have you seen the Verizon Shiny Balls spot?
Yeah, you were telling me about it earlier, so I looked it up.
I've seen it playing a lot.
Oh,
on
really?
TV. Yeah. And I've been watching it 3 or 4 times. Number one, I don't understand what it is. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. What's the title of it?
Verizon, a better network, as explained by colorful balls.
Okay. First of all, I don't understand the metaphor.
Well,
Do you?
It's just all they're doing is creating pie charts or whatever by filling circles with balls.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine, whatever.
But here's the thing. Here's what I thought was funny about that. We always joke about shiny balls.
Mm-hmm.
But and how shiny balls are great, but are you ever going to use shiny balls for your job?
Right.
Here's the one chance that somebody had to use shiny balls for a spot, and it is a practical spot.
Mm-hmm.
It is completely 100% shot with like this kind of crappy looking if you look at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross looking, this like concrete crap thing that they built.
Yeah, it's just a black, white, and then the balls are colored,
Yeah. I mean, if you really look at it, it looks like it's kind of beat up and stuff. Like it didn't have a good paint job and it's kind of rickety. And I'm like, number one, why did they spend all the time on that? They could have done that. They could have built that in a day.
Yeah.
In CG, but the one
Charged
chance
$10,000 for it.
Yeah. The one chance that CG had, somebody was going to be able to use their shiny ball skills, and it was blown.
Yep. It's all right.
So, and beta testers as well. We've got the list of beta testers growing for the Luminous Brograph Octane lighting plugin.
Mm-hmm.
It's going fairly well. I think I left off before I left for Vegas. I left off in a good place.
Yeah.
I have some glitches I already noticed because I've been using it on my own.
Yeah, I've been using it too.
Have you used the new one?
I have used the new one once or twice. It's weird when I first installed it and opened up Cinema 4D and started playing with it. My spotlight wasn't going correctly. It was like giving me a square.
Mm-hmm.
But then I shut it down and opened it back up, and it was fine.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh, well, that's one of the biggest glitches I was actually going to bring up, and that's
really?
my bad. It's because I changed the name of the plugin, and so now it's looking for the wrong name, and so none of the textures are linking correctly. So, yeah, there's a huge glitch in the latest version. Now, I'm getting close. I'm on the last thing that I'm going to build for this, which is the lighting pack. You probably didn't see this. I don't think it's in the pack yet. There's a customizable cyc.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
For different sizes, and I forget what else I made it do. It's pretty basic. Have you played with the Quick Sky yet?
No. The only thing I've played with is the Spotlight, because I actually use it all the time. I use it in place of IES lights and anytime I'm doing something.
It works, man.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it. People are gonna like this. I really think they are. The Quick Sky is great because how many times you just want to model something real quick and you're like, but I got to put a sky in here, and I got to do an octane tag, and then I got to click, and then I got to open image texture, and then I got to search for my default HDR. So that's all taken care of, and by default, I put it on the outdoor one. So if I can pull it up, and I can tell you exactly what I put in it. I did find some bugs in using it the other day, but here's what you have. It starts out with a base sky type of HDR, and I call it Quick QIK, so Quick Sky, and so this isn't for you know what this is for? It's for modeling stuff real quick.
Yeah.
Or just seeing something. If you're going to get down to the nitty gritty with the settings and stuff, no, you're probably just going to want to use the regular one. I get that. But I did this because all the time I just want to do a scene where I model this thing and I save the model. And
Is
I
there a way to
delete the sky.
convert it to I don't know, I haven't seen the quick sky, so I don't know what it's all about. But is there a way to just say, okay, convert this to like my actual sky, and then let me adjust the settings?
You kind of can. I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty. It has a lot of settings, but it's got quick outdoor, quick indoor, studio, and then it has custom where you can just drag any HDR into it real quick if you want as well. It has power and gamma settings as well as rotation. It has custom sky color. If you want to just do a quick black sky, you can do that.
Cool.
And then besides sky type HDR, it has, you could do the custom color, or you could just do a quick black or quick white sky. And then it has a daylight setting, which this will just give you a basic sun. And then you could say, is it morning, noon? No, is it dawn, morning, noon, evening, or dusk? So it's like right when the sun's coming up, it's kind of, halfway to noon, noon, halfway to evening, and then dusk gets setting. And then you can, so you select that, and then you can select the angle. So it could be like noon, like high noon, or it could be, high center morning, where the light's coming behind something or in front of something, but then you can adjust the angle to either negative 45 or positive 45 degree angle. So it basically covers a small amount.
Yeah.
It's just to do it quick, and it has a north offset as well.
Cool.
It's just enough to throw something in there real quick, and all your basic settings you would have if you were just doing a model would be in there.
Cool.
And the last thing I'm working on, which I'm hoping to finish up. I don't think I'll finish it up this week because I'm going out of town. But
You're going out of town this week too?
Yeah, working.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Working. So that's going to be. So this is the lighting, the soft boxes. So you're going to have soft boxes for nails, like what do you call them? Kino kits. You're going to have ring lights, the whole thing. And the whole thing's customizable. I sent you a video of some of it too.
Yeah, you did.
And I think it's been so long now. Like, the cool part is you can see the feedback in the viewport. So like if you make a green light, usually in Octane, you don't see a green light in the viewport.
Right.
And so that's what this does. And not only that, but if you're in color temperature mode, you actually see the color temperature of your light in the viewport.
Oh, cool. That's very cool.
That, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're trying to translate slider bars into, like, from color temperature to colors in the viewport, it's really weird because it's like, how do you adjust that? It's not just like from blue to yellow. It's like white to green to blue to yellow to orange to deep red. It's a really weird thing. And I had to do this weird HSV conversion thing in Espresso and whatnot. So learned a lot about Espresso too.
Yeah, me too. I've been looking at your Espresso stuff, and I've started working on some Espresso stuff of my own.
Do you want to talk about what you're working on?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so a lot of the interior scenes and stuff that I've done, anytime I'm creating furniture or like customized furniture or something like that, I find myself doing the exact same steps over and over and over again. So basically what I've started doing is, and I don't know if we're going to release this or not, but I'm hoping maybe to one day build it as a package where it's basically a furniture builder or window builder, basically an entire room builder. To where you can choose what you want to build and get like a starting point, and then you can adjust sliders and whatnot, all to build what you want. And it was funny. So I was working on a couch builder. They can be either a couch or a chair or whatever. And I realized with the couch builder, because I've got click buttons where you can turn on and off the arms, on and off the legs, on and off the back area, and you can do custom shapes for the arms or custom shapes for the pillow, whatever. And I noticed, I was like, oh, well, if you just extend this and make it deeper and wider or whatever, it's now a bed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So
it'll be easy to convert.
Yeah, totally. So like you can take this basic thing and you can turn it into whatever you want, and you've got a couple of standard shapes, like, you know, like a cube or a circle, or, you know, an arch or an arch up or something like that, or you can put in your own custom splines to where, you know, you can have the arms or legs or something be a certain way that you want it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I'm still working on it. I got pretty far into it in the couch one, and then I figured I wanted to do it a different way to make it much more customizable, and kind of had to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, so it can get complicated really quick, especially if you're doing like big sets of options, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not sure where I'm going to go with the soft boxes, for example. Mm-hmm. This is kind of where I left off. Like, I could say, okay, this could be a soft box or a ring light, and you can just switch it back and forth. Mm-hmm. But if I do that, then, like, I have to switch a million options.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then like the barn doors change because I have custom barn door controls and stuff like that.
Have you tried messing with so one thing that I've been doing, like I've been doing instances, you know, just like empty instances, and switching it out to be whatever that instance is of whatever I choose, you know?
I mean, that's probably how I would go about it. The problem is that it's all your options. Yeah, I don't know. Like if your options were to control the angle of the barn doors, it would always have to be switched into the angle of the barn doors for that particular piece. But I guess it could control all of them at once, so you just wouldn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to have to look into it, but yeah. Espresso nodes that I've been looking at are, I've been using the switches a lot, like the conditional switches.
Yeah.
Where you can say, here's a list of stuff, and here are the variables that can come in from your user data.
Yeah, I like that
each one. And then, like, you know, if you get this variable, switch this on. And you just link something into it.
I've been doing that. Yeah, I've been doing that too. Using that switch, and then whichever one I choose, that one will become the one that goes inside the instance, you know? Mm-hmm. Like that one will be plugged into the instance, and then I can adjust from there.
I mean,
you need to check it out. 'Cause I've got the window builder and I've got the other one. I don't know if I'm doing anything differently than what you are.
Well, the thing is, I'm such a damn nerd about it, though. It's like a puzzle, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Dude, and I do a ton of math. Like, I don't know about you, but like, cause I'm, you know, making things wider or making things deeper or something. And when you're creating, like when you're making the main thing deeper, like the main cushion deeper or whatever, I want the back to be able to follow it, you know? Mm-hmm. So I need to change its position based on the depth as well, which there's a lot of math involved, you know. So it's funny, like some of my math is like I'll do just the basic add, and then I'll throw that into the result of another like divide, and then I'll multiply that by something. I'll have 3 different math things just to get one problem. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's crazy. But it's cool that you can do that stuff.
And
like,
there's
once you get Espresso down, Espresso is like super powerful. It's like I feel like I can.
Oh yeah.
And like being able to create the user, you know, data and stuff like that. That's awesome. That completely changed the way that I do things now.
And I imagine there's like lots of different ways to do these things. So I'm always trying to find like simpler ways to do things. I'm like, okay, well, I set up this whole chain of like 50 things. Like maybe there's one node that just does all this, but
yeah.
I mean, it's like a puzzle. And the thing is, it's range mappers too, man. Range mappers are big.
Yeah, and I don't use any range mappers. I haven't used any.
Mappers. If you haven't used a range mapper before, here's what's so cool about it. You can take the high and the low of one thing and map it to the high and low of another thing. right? So like, let's just say you have a cube and it's sitting in the viewport, and you're going to move it it's always going to be from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, like going back and forth, right? And at 0, you want it to be dark. Anytime that cube is at the bottom of the screen, you want it to be dark. And anytime it's at the top of the screen, you want it to be bright. Well, you get the Y value of what bottom is. Let's say it's 0 at origin, and then let's say at the top, it's like 50 feet up. Well, then you map that 0 and 50, you map that, and then you say, okay, anytime it's at the top, I want the lights to be up 100%. You can map it to your light and say, well, 0 to 50 equals, like 0 to 50 feet equals 0 to 100% of a light.
Right.
And
That's cool.
And it just remaps. It's just calculating percentages and just remapping the whole thing for you, which is cool.
Huh, that's cool.
That's a lot of fun. And what was the other thing? Can't remember. I got the condition switches, some weird RGB stuff that I figured out.
Is there a way to make it? Is there a way? Yeah, we should definitely do a tutorial on Espresso. That would be cool. You know, I dove a little bit into it on the piston one, but I feel like you could go so much more into it.
I've done some, but it's been a while.
Is there a way? So, like, I've got a drop down that has different options, and then I've got a custom one. You know, like a custom link. So, but in order to get that custom link to work, I have to have my drop down on custom. Yeah. Is there any way to like gray out the custom link thing unless custom is, you know?
That's what I've been trying to figure out. And I'll tell you, I got really close. And I thought I had it and I was done until I put a copy of my scene, like 2 spotlights into my scene. And then I realized what was going on because I was using coffee. And I might have talked about this on the show, but when you use coffee, it assigns
like a specific number or something like that. When you
use a user data node.
Yeah.
A specific number, but it's a specific number within that user data. So like something number 21, but then when you do number 21 on another one, coffee is what you would call what's the word I'm looking for? Not an admin, but what's the super admin called?
I don't know.
My mind is blank.
I have no idea. Super admin.
No, it's not super admin. It's dang it, my mind has completely gone blank. There's a term for it in computing. It's like hyper. Gosh, I wish I could remember what it's called now. It's going to bug me, but it basically is outside the sandbox. Hypervisor mode.
Jeez. Okay.
And so it's basically the equivalent of hypervisor.
Is there also a megavisor and a?
Well, you've heard of rootkits before, right?
No.
Like if a rootkit running on your computer means like if it's hacked or something. You know, if you think you're admin on your computer and you run your admin password, but it's in a rootkit, it's sandboxed, and on the outside of it, it's kind of like you're in a virtual machine. You could think of it in terms of virtual machines. If you got like 10 virtual machines running, then all of those have an admin, but they're not the admin for the computer because there's something on the outside of it. It's like God mode.
Okay.
You know, so that's the hypervisor mode because it's controlling the admins. So it's kind of like that. And when you use coffee, it's controlling all of them together. And so that's where I realized that I couldn't do that. And I put it on my list for 2.0.
Word.
So, I mean, it's something I'm working on. So if I find out, I'll tell you so that you can implement it.
Word.
I did a lot of searching. You know when you will go down a rabbit hole on Google until you have exhausted your options.
Yep.
Like for hours, I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen right now. Something I did find out doing the tutorial this week is I could never figure out how to link your individual say you're using a color channel and you're using a noise, and within noise you have seed. You can't just drag seed into espresso
Okay.
because it just won't let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like, how do I do that? And I never knew how to do it. And my solution, because it ends up being easier anyway, is you right click on it. And you right click on something else, you set, you do that espresso thing where you do set driver.
Right.
You set driven, and it makes a separate espresso. And I like it because I can open it and it's already range mapped everything for me, especially if it's a value that's going to have like XYZ. It puts a range mapper in with XYZ values separated for you.
Cool.
You can bring it in. So it really is faster. But I had 2 people send me 2 different ways to do it, actually, after I posted it. Because I actually said in the...
Oh, yeah, I saw this. I saw a few of the comments.
Yeah, and it's a tutorial. I'm like, if somebody knows how to do this, let me know. There are a couple ways. What I find is the fastest way is if you're in, say, the noise channel, you grab the little checkerboard that's at the top left when you're down in that layer, and you drag the checkerboard onto Espresso, and then you can click on it and get inputs and outputs. But it's like, how is that intuitive?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Where did that come from? And it's like, we talked about it, I think, I don't know, it might have been in the comments. We're like, there's nothing in the manual that says this. So, like, how does it even make sense? I want to drag noise into, or seed from noise into the window and just have it work. I don't know why that's not possible. Put that on my R18 list, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah. Already asking for stuff for R18.
Okay. We talked about beta testers. The list is filling up quick. I don't want to have too many beta testers. I want some people to be able to sell it to.
Right.
But it's a good list, and I'm excited about it. I'm trying really hard to get it done, but the holidays and being sick,
yeah, totally,
have cut into it. But I'm so close. Because I honestly got to get it done. I got other work to do. Auto updates suck. We talked about this on the show a while back. You told me to keep your phone on just auto update. I just let everything auto update.
Yeah, I still do that, with the exception of my the actual OS. I have all my apps auto update.
So I got an iPad. For
iPad, big one, iPad Mini,
an old iPad Mini, but newer than what I had.
Okay.
For the drone. This is a while back.
Oh, okay. Right. Right.
And so I decided, I hadn't drone flied in a long time. I was going to go out and do this. And I go out, live streaming on Facebook, because you can live video stream. Bye-bye, Periscope.
Have you registered your drone yet?
No, I'm waiting for that possible hold on the registration process.
Okay.
Not because I care about registering, because I don't want my address being out there as having a drone. Because here's a place to steal drone from. Comes
That's
back
interesting.
It's because they do that if you have a plane, but no one's going to come to your house to steal your airplane.
Right.
But it's like, oh, this address has a drone in it, so obviously they must have money for those things. Yes. I'm not happy about that. And so I'm waiting, because they're trying to file this thing to lock that out, and if they say it's likely it's going to go through. I just don't want to register until they fix that.
Right. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. I've been getting crazy calls lately, sales calls to my cell phone, and I'm like, "Where did you get this number?" They're like, "Oh, it's a part."
Are you the owner of?
Are you? It's a part of public record. And I'm like, "You need to take me off your call list."
And they say, I'm on the national
do not call list. Do not call me on my cell phone.
And they say, well, that only applies to sales calls, sir. This isn't a sales call. We're just going to give you a free estimate.
Yeah.
I know the drill.
Yeah. You know what? There's so many jerks who are taking advantage of tornado victims right now. You know? And calling me up and oh, well, we did this and this for your neighbors. We'd love to do a free estimate for you. I'm like, don't call me. If I need to get something done, I already know who I'm going through, and you do not need to be calling me.
I got one after your tornado.
What?
I got one after your tornado saying, we see that, the storms hit your neighborhood pretty hard, so.
Really?
I'm like, Jeez, we got ridiculous. It from the National Weather Service. I'm like, did you?
Did you? That's funny. That's stupid.
Jerks.
So stupid.
They're all jerks.
In the reverse, there have been a ton of awesome people like so many awesome people who have just come out and helped. Or like Amy's school is, when you marry a teacher, for those of you who aren't married out there, marry a teacher. They are the best group of people to be affiliated with, because they were giving us dinner and bringing us hot chocolate, and like her principal got together and they threw in like gift cards and cash and stuff, and we're like, dude, we still have a house in comparison to the people down the street.
Right.
You know, we don't really need all this help. You know, we felt guilty for taking it, you know, but then again, we still have to pay a deductible, and that's what these people are helping out with, you know? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's crazy. Like, the people coming to help and wanting to help and whatever are just awesome. But then you got those real jerks who are just wanting to make money off of your pain and suffering.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you had any people flying drones around, like trying to get footage?
Yeah, actually, you the day after it happened, when I was talking to you or whatever, and I told you that I hadn't seen a single drone. Like, the very next day, there was someone flying one around. And so I heard it from inside my house, and I'm like, oh, I know that sound. So I walked out front, and I could see it, and I was just waving to it, you know, having a good time. And I saw, like, it turned around specifically just to face me so that it could see me waving to it. I don't know, it was pretty funny.
You should have motioned, like, come here.
Yeah, right.
It's funny. Well, I hadn't flown in a while, and I took mine out finally, and that was my whole auto update thing. Is I had my Verizon card, 4G card, and I of course hadn't updated the iPad in a while. I hadn't used it. I use it just with the drone, and so I get it all going. I go out in the middle of nowhere. I'm streaming this thing live. I'm showing how I'm setting it up and doing all this stuff. And I go to the DJI app, and it's like grayed out.
That's stupid.
It's auto updating.
Oh,
this is a great time for you to auto update, because it's the first time it saw the internet. I just powered the thing up. It attached to the Verizon card, and it said, "Oh, I'm finally on the internet. I'm going to update 100 apps."
How long did it? Oh,
not 100, but it was a lot. And on a 4G card, you're lucky to get 4G.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't update on
it
cell
doesn't know,
data
it
or
doesn't
whatever,
know.
unless it's like over if it's less than 20 gig or 20 megs or whatever.
It doesn't know. It's on Wi-Fi as far as it's concerned. And so it's sitting there, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll wait for it. And then it's like paused, doing nothing. And then all the other ones are updating, and I'm like quitting the other apps because it's taking all the bandwidth. And like 15-20 minutes later, I was streaming. I was like, okay, guys, I guess I'll log back on later. And so I'm just sitting there in my truck bed waiting for all these auto things to go. And then it auto updates, and then the app crashes every time I open it.
Oh, that sucks.
So then I have to delete the app.
And then reinstall it.
Over 4G again.
Ugh. How big's the app?
It's pretty big. And then I have to go through all the setup stuff again.
Should have just deleted it in the first place and then reinstalled it.
Man.
I don't know.
That's why I don't like the stupid auto. And
but still, you need to just have it connected to your home Wi-Fi.
Well, it is. It just died. I don't
see, that's your fault.
Yeah.
If it had been just plugged in and sitting on the side somewhere and automatically update, you would have been fine.
I kind of remember seeing it
but
like
you know
that.
what? You would have had to, even if it wasn't auto update, I don't know, would it have even opened? I
don't know.
Don't blame the auto update. I blame you.
I don't know. I saw it grayed out, I think, at one point at the house. So maybe it got stuck, and I just never finished it. But
way to go.
So let's talk about Oculus Rift for a minute.
They finally gave a price and stuff.
They finally gave a price, and
how do you feel about the price? First off, when I saw my opinion on the price, I asked your opinion. I'm going to tell you mine. $600 seems really expensive.
It does
to me.
It
you
does.
know, especially since you've got companies like Samsung who are releasing theirs for $100 or whatever. But
it's not
then
as
again,
good.
Yeah, I know, but you still have to have the phone, which, you know, whatever. But and then you got cardboard, which is just cardboard,
which is nowhere near.
Yeah, I know.
It is nowhere near in comparison.
Does the the Oculus version 2, developer 2 version that you have, it doesn't come with the headphone things that are on the final one, right?
No, it does not. And it doesn't have all the other stuff.
Yeah, but how much did you pay for each one? It was $300, right?
$350.
$350.
About $350.
And so now you're paying $600 for a whole one.
Now you pay $600. You get that. You also get on the waiting list for the hand controllers. for the handy controllers. You get
but do they actually give you the hand controllers?
No, because they delayed release.
You're on the list for it, but you still have to pay for it.
Yes, you will still have to pay for it, but they'll be nowhere near in comparison.
Maybe
also get
everyone thought the Oculus Rift was only going to be like $300.
You also get you got the headphones. You have really high resolution screen in comparison.
Is it still plugged in?
It's HD in each eye. Oh, it's got to be plugged in. You can't do wireless HDMI with it. There's no way. I mean, this is for a really good VR experience. It's not your cell phone VR experience.
Used the Samsung one?
No, but I used the Google Cardboard stuff on the iPhone.
Google Cardboard is completely different than the Samsung VR.
Like, you can't get the frame rate. I mean, you do box projection.
The one that I was using was a test one back before it was even announced. You know?
Yeah, but it's still cubic projection.
I thought it was pretty good.
What was the frame rate?
Oh, I have no idea.
You get sick in it.
Yeah, I get sick just from the regular Rift.
Well, yeah, but you use like the Rift 1, and that was like 15 frames a second. It was ridiculous.
I went to the planetarium in DC, and I got sick in the planetarium. I am not a reference for what is good and what is bad when it comes to getting sick.
Oh, and you get an Xbox One controller with it.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Which that's
those are $60.
Yeah, that's bonus for me because I only have one. I need another one anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, so knock that down.
Yeah.
So, you gonna ask me if I ordered one?
Did you order one?
Yes. Literally the second it came out.
Oh, the second it came out?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I was ready, man. And you know what? They had a couple different ways they could go. There was a great article
earlier. I'm talking to you about like costs on something. You're like, oh no, we got to be really tight on what we're buying now. And then you just spent $600 on an Oculus Rift.
Well, A, it was my money.
Okay.
Not company money.
Not company money. B,
it's something that I have known was going to be something I would buy for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And see,
what was your initial reaction when you saw the $600 price tag? Did you go?
I was ready. I was ready for $500.
Were you?
Yes, okay. I was ready for up to $500. The $600, I was like $100 more. I'll drink less Starbucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you won't drink less Starbucks.
Oh, I've been drinking a lot less Starbucks.
Yeah, I can see that. Ordering more Jimmy John's though.
Oh, tell me about it. So. You know, for me, it's an investment, like, and that's part of our discussion here too, because there's so much going on with it right now and what we're doing, and like, I was hoping that they'd have the price down from the get go, because on the developer version, I'm like, it's $350. I'm like, it was like $350. I'd do some $350. I thought they were at least going to go down to about $2.5.
Wow,
but. The whole thing about it is I thought they were going to do affordable for people. What I saw some stuff that the Oculus dude, I forget his name, posted yesterday or a couple days ago on Twitter about here's the reasons. First of all, you already got to have a beefy, expensive system to use this thing. Right. You have to have like the machines you and I have for this new one to work. You're talking about a higher than HD resolution experience going on, because it's got to drive dual HD in each eye, HD in each eye, essentially. Not quite, but plus 90 frames a second. And you know what kind of power that takes. It's ridiculous, right?
Does it say what the suggested system hardware is or whatever?
Yes.
Which is?
They have a little thing on their site. I think I have a link somewhere in the show notes. It's called Few Computers Are Powerful Enough to Support Virtual Reality.
Nice.
It's about this. There are two types of virtual reality that are emerging here. It's going to split. It's going to fork into the portable, affordable consumer version and then like the hardcore gamer version. There's going to be the version where you don't get sick, where everything looks super photorealistic. You're totally immersed in it. That's the expensive. It's the PC gamer world.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what we're going for here. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I think you and I are talking about, the future of graphics and stuff, as far as like, even product visualization, the whole thing. Like, you're going to have that too. Like, you got these two worlds, and that's why $600 is a little more justified. Although, like, I felt like if it started at $350, it should have gone down. But
yeah, I felt like that too.
There are some significant improvements in the new one.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes. The other thing is it comes with a lot of software.
It does.
And like games and stuff, including one that is one of the first like interactive movies, which is something you and I have been talking about, where you're building a movie, you're building this experience. But then you're bringing it into something like Unreal Engine. And that's something for someone like you and I to really pay attention to. And I'm sure people who listen to the show, because, you think of where graphics are going as far as rendering, stuff that you got to render, right? And it's up at the top of the chart, right? It's the graph. And your render time is going down and down and down and down, right? And you do an inverse graph of gaming and the quality of graphics in real time for gaming, and it's going up and up and up and up. Okay, and they're going to converge at some point, or they're going to do that thing where they get super super close to where they're almost touching. And what are we going to do in our craft? Like, how are we going to adjust to that? Like, eventually, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no render time. Just give me the program.
Yeah.
And I'll move the camera where I want it if I need to. You can set the camera, but also I might change it.
Kind of like rendering time for video editing. We used to spend hours and hours doing a lot of rendering, video editing, but now, man, I can't even remember the last time I had to render a timeline.
Well, and there's the hybrid too, which this is what is in the new Octane Alpha. For not the cinema version, but when you can do this, you have to export from cinema into the base render engine for Octane 3, but it lets you do camera bakes. And this is what makes everything look so good. I think I sent you some of the samples that are out there. If you go to Otoy's website now, you can do those samples of some of their Unreal Octane engine gaming.
Oh,
and you can actually bake cameras. You could bake the solutions into textures easily and do these unwraps and stuff. And there's also on the fly rendering for Unreal, and imagine as good as Unreal is already, but then with Octane combined, that's where gaming is going. So you and I, we've got to figure out, are we going to stay as modelers? Are we going to learn some programming? Are we going to at least try and learn the basics of Unreal Engine? Yeah. So that we could kind of become this hybrid person. Because I don't know, man. I can see even as early as 10 years from now, just being in a completely different world. And 10 years doesn't seem like a long time, but think about what you were doing on your computer 10 years ago.
What year was 10 years ago?
06?
06.
So,
yeah, I was just surfing MySpace.
Yeah, surfing MySpace, and there were no iPhones yet.
Nope.
So, and where were the game machines at that point? The Xbox 360 had just come out.
PS2,
Xbox 360 was brand new, and 10 years doesn't seem like a lot of time, but in 10 years we could be like working in this other world, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know if like cinema and Unreal will kind of start to merge together somehow, or you know, some equivalent or whatever. But we gotta, real quick, if you want to stay ahead of it, you got to figure out like, what am I gonna do? At least learn a little bit of it, right?
Yeah. Did you see Kodak's new 4K camera? It's a 360 camera.
No, I didn't. I saw their film camera.
Yeah, Kodak just I think it's CES this past week or whatever. They showed off it's a 360 degree, which is kind of a lie. It's not really 360. 360 degrees, like up, front, side, forward, but if you look down, it's black, you know?
Right.
It's a 4K camera for the price of a GoPro. Yeah, and it's about the size too.
When they come out with a stereo version of that, that's when I'll be interested.
Yeah, like one that shoots the bottom as well.
Well, I don't know if you're ever going to be able to, because you always got to set it somewhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Send it to you so that you can check it out and put it in the show notes or whatever. But I took a look at it. I think, I don't know, like the video that I saw didn't seem that impressive. Like it didn't seem super 4K or super colorful or anything like that. But
maybe it was.
I mean, the price of a GoPro, that's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm waiting for the stereo version. That'll be really cool.
Yeah.
Now, not this Monday, but the next Monday, my buddy Pat is coming up here from Austin. He works for Batbridge, and he's the one who pitched the series High Profits on CNN to CNN. Like, he was showing me stuff before it was, you know, anybody bought it. And so he produced that whole High Profit series, which is now on Netflix as well. It's a great series if you haven't seen it, on the legal marijuana industry in Colorado. And so he's working on some new projects now, and they're doing one about future of technology and talks a lot about VR. He's like, I know you're way into Rift. Can we come up and shoot you, you know, playing some stuff on Rift and talking about how people interact and this and that. And, you know, he wants to see more of the interaction stuff. Unfortunately, like I'm more into the 3D stuff. I don't go in and like play Second Life with people on Oculus Rift. And, you know,
you're missing out.
We did talk about porn, like about VR porn and all that too. And I'm like, yeah, it's out there. Because he's hearing, I don't know where he's hearing things. Maybe it was CES. About I think he saw some stuff where some writers were real skeptical, and they went in and they saw some of these videos that were made with those stereo 3D cameras, and they're like, man, it is weird. You're like in another dude's body, and then this girl comes up and, you know, starts getting up in your face and the whole thing. Or like conversely or inversely, like you're a woman.
Nice.
You know, you have a woman's body, you got boobs or whatever, right? And like all of a sudden there's this dude. And so we were talking about that. I'm like, well, I'm not going to put it on and be getting a virtual lap dance for your pitch video, but I mean, we can talk about it, or we can I don't want to be on screen like, you know, getting I don't know, digital boner, but I just, but I think it's really good. I think it brings up some interesting, it brings up some interesting points though. And I think it'll be fun, to talk about it. I think I have some points that he may have not even thought about, just because I use it a lot and we talk about it a lot, that he may be interested in, for the doc. And so we'll see where that goes. If it gets to air or anything, we'll shoot a link or whatever.
Cool. That's cool.
So okay, now we're getting down the nitty gritty here into the other stuff.
Oh, we're not in the nitty gritty?
No.
Can we take a fiver real quick?
You got to go to the bathroom, don't you?
I do.
Always happens. All right.
Sorry.
Marker. I don't know what to do when we're on Twitter, right? This is the show. We're back in the show.
Right, I understand.
Okay. I don't know what to do when I can't understand a bad translation on Twitter or something.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what to do, man. I feel bad. Like someone's asking for help and they're like, hello, I want explain the transfer of Octane render project to C4D After Effects. And I'm like, I don't know what you mean.
And we try really hard to,
to
understand.
Get through the
But that could have so many different
and I tried.
ways to go around it.
I'm like, are you saying you want to know how to transfer an Octane project in After Effects? I'm like, I just render an image sequence like normal and then bring it in After Effects. And then he said something else, and I think there's some translation service in between.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I've had a few people like in Spanish ask questions or something like that, and I'll do a translation from English to Spanish. It's not that great.
It's probably the exact same thing. They're probably getting yours back, and it's like, just insert your Octane into the cube.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I wish that there was a better way. I don't know. But
yeah, no idea.
Yeah, we got some other random comments. We got a lot of comments. Some good, some bad, some funny. I was working on some models of some stuff. I made an old school book a couple weeks ago in Octane, I think. And someone they're like, what is that? Like the Quran or something? A la Octane. It's like, it's good. Another guy told me I need to clean my office. A la Octane, that is a good one. Dude.
A la Octane, it's the bomb.
Oh, dude, it needs to be a black shirt.
Really? Nothing? Not even a little chuckle for that?
Yeah, it is the bomb. You write that. No, that's on the back. That's on the back. It's the bomb. And on the front, it's the Octane symbol because it's white on black. And then you have all Octane written in that, Arabic-looking ISIS script.
Oh, jeez.
I kind of want to get that made up and just wear it to NAV, to the O12
Oh,
booth.
that would be so messed up.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Someone else told me I need to clean my office. I'm like, fool. First of all, that video was 2 years ago. There was a while where I was getting my Oculus Rift set up and all that. And I had cables everywhere. And now I finally got everything run behind the counters and everything. I've redone my office. I clean it all the time. He's like, you need to get your wife. You need to get married.
Yeah, you need to get married so you can get a wife to clean for you. All right.
I think it's from Russia. I'm like, I guess that's what they do in Russia. But my wife would never touch anything in my office. And B, I've been married for almost 10 years. So. Good luck with that.
That's hilarious. That's
and then there was some stuff I saw on Reddit. It wasn't directed at us specifically, but I thought this, I got this in my notes for possible tutorial ideas coming down the line. Somebody who's new, they said, I'm still learning, practicing with Cinema 4D, but I really enjoy modeling as a learning exercise, but I'm nearly 100% self-taught. Do people have any good advice on best practices when it comes to modeling workflow and object organization? How much do you use tags?
Not often. I don't know. I find in, using Octane and stuff, I use it much less.
Use selection tags less with Octane? I use them more.
No. I use
materials?
Octane tags.
Oh, Octane tags, but selection tags for multi-layered texturing. If you have something and you want to put 10 different Octane tags on the same thing, you have to do it because you can't layer textures.
I'm going to need you to show me that because I don't really know what you're talking about.
Okay, a regular Cinema 4D. Okay.
Yes.
You have a red base texture, and then you have another area over to the right in your dealio, and it's got some sticker with an alpha channel on it. You can't just put that layer on top of the other layer in your tags because it's just going to override the entire model. You have to use selection tags and say, I only want it over here.
You're going to have to show me how to do that because I don't have the need to do that often.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang, yo.
Yeah. There you go. There's a new tutorial.
It's actually in the barrel tutorial that I did.
Oh, well, I haven't watched that one.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Sorry.
Well, I just created this CD thing, which we'll talk about in a minute. I did that little CD, and there's the inner part of the CD that's the clear plastic, and then there's the other part that's the mirrored plastic. Well, it's all one piece of geometry.
Oh, selection tags. Jeez, I'm an idiot. Yes, I do use those all the time.
Oh, what did you think I was talking about?
I thought you were talking about like something completely different.
Oh.
Like, no, I do use those all the time. But I mean, I'm just, they create them themselves whenever I throw the thing on there. I wasn't even thinking about it like that because I never create those tags. It creates it on its own whenever I select the stuff and drop my texture on it. You know?
See, I select them first and I put them all on and then I do it. But a lot of that's because, like, if you're building something real intricate and you have like a piece that you extruded or something and it's super complicated, you're like, okay, I don't want to have to go back and select all of these again.
Yeah, but once you select it and then you throw the material on it and it creates that selection tag, you can go back to that. You
well,
can
not
go back
necessarily materials. I mean, just like in general, like if you were pulling like a weird ring shape out of something.
I don't do that often. You know, I have the selection tags automatically created whenever I throw a material on. I don't actually create the selection tag myself.
But that's the big thing about modeling is like if you have a whole rim of something selected where you'd have to go back, or two sides of something or whatever, man, even if I don't think I'm going to come back to it, I'll create a selection tag and just name it so I can go back and grab that piece again. Because God forbid I have to go back and select every polygon one by one, because it's, you can't do a loop selection, you can't do a fill selection, you can't do an outline selection. Like none of them work, because it's just not built that way. And you're like, oh crap. And then you got to go in there and select like a million individual polygons. That's when I use tags. And,
the only time when I use the standard renderer, I find myself using tags a lot. As far as the compositing tags and stuff like that, I use those all the time. Yeah. When I'm in Octane, I the only time I use a compositing tag is just for object buffers, so that I can do object passes or whatever.
And then the other question was, how do you manage creative iterations? Now, there's a lot of levels to that. Yeah. If you're modeling and you're doing, anytime that I do something in the model itself that's like super either destructive or a big change, I increment save.
Yeah, I always create, I don't always increment save, sometimes I do, but I always create a copy of it and throw it into like what I call a reference null, Yeah,
I do that too.
Okay. Yeah, like I just duplicate it, throw it into a null, call it ref, and turn it off.
Well, especially if you're doing something like you've got a primitive that you've worked on and you're turning that primitive and a bunch of deformers or whatever into a pure piece of geometry, definitely keep that ref. Yeah. But like if you're already down into that ref, and you're like, okay, well, I created the base part of this model. Now I'm going to start extruding all this other stuff. Well, I increment save, but I do it a certain way. You got to keep this in mind. Let's say you've been working for 20 minutes. Okay. You increment save because it's a major thing. And then you change all this stuff and then you screw it up. Well, if you go back to the old one, you're 20 minutes out before you got to that point. You got to remember to save and then increment save. Yeah, totally. Because that is the starting point. And then this new one, you don't have to worry about what am I saving. That's a huge, and what does it matter? Like, iterate save constantly. Yeah. Increment it all the time. Who cares? But it's usually major points in the project. Okay. Like, okay, I've done all this stuff, and it's not just for that. Think about corrupted files. For example, it's like, oh, well, I didn't really change much, so I'm just going to save over this file. And then you save something, and then you do some stuff, and you come back the next day and you open it, and your one file you used is corrupt.
Yep, I had that happen to me. It was awful. I was lucky that we keep a backup every single night of our entire server.
I've had that too. You go back to Time Machine, or even like Cinema crashes. Yeah. And you try and go to that weird preference folder and get the
autosave or whatever. Yeah, and it hasn't autosaved either ever or
corrupt. Yeah. Yeah. It didn't capture it. It didn't save it. Anyway. So, That's a big deal. Iterate, say, and it's so easy, and that's why I name everything whatever it is _0001, because that's the system that C4D uses anyway. So you just do that, and every time you increment save, it just adds a number to the end. Super simple. And then what do other teams in your creative workflows expect to see?
I don't know. My biggest thing is organization. I want to be able to open up a project and see it. And like really be able to understand what's going on almost immediately.
That's a conversation I had at NBC the other day. Was talking about, people being super, super organized with their workflows. And I'm sure they have a different way of doing things than we do, but still, it's like you can take anything that I have made or you have made probably in the last almost 5 years now and open it up.
You more so than me. You're a bit more organized than I am.
Well, even so, like, take any project you've done, and you know where the Cinema 4D files are going to be.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes.
Even that
absolutely.
Right?
Yes. When it comes to inside the project, though, my layers and stuff, I'm not super organized. I don't,
so anal.
Like primitives and stuff, I don't actually name them what they are. I just kind of know for the most part.
I do for the most part, unless it's something really stupid, like, oh, this is just this thing. But, for the major pieces are there. And if it's something super nested, if it's like, an array of something, for example, is made out of cubes, I'll name the null. Who cares that there's cubes inside named cube?
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, keep that like that.
See, I sometimes, I'll name the thing that the array is of, but I won't name the array. I do that all the time. So.
Yeah, it's burned me too much where I've just finally decided to just get into it and do it, But I like being able to go back into a project and pull it up and just totally find everything that exactly where I think it would be. And then when other people do that with you, it's so nice. Yeah. Because everybody has that horror story of even opening like an After Effects project. And I feel bad. Like there's sometimes that I'll do an After Effects project and I'm like, oh, I'm just slapping this together. And then all of a sudden it becomes super convoluted. And I'm like, man, the one time that I didn't do this right, someone asked me for the file. And I'm like, oh, geez. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. This looks like garbage. Just to avoid that. Be able to open other people's projects. This folder within this folder is going to have this type of file. You open that file. You want to get to that layer. There it is. Man, it saves so much time. That's what people expect to see. I mean, you open one of my projects from 8 years ago, dude. It's everything in one directory. Yeah. It's just garbage. Yeah. That's garbage. All right, so I got some links here.
Sweet.
Quick links.
Quick links.
This version of this Maxon video, it's been around for a little bit, I think. It's Man vs. Machine for Nike.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. They got some cool stuff in there.
It's good, man. You look at the stuff, and it's like, man, I want to do all this type of video all the time, every day, and I want all my clients to be like this.
Yeah, totally.
That's what you strive for. That's a good one about their creative process. Sitting sick the other day on the couch, not able to get up, I started going to the VFX subreddit because I was really bored, and I saw that somebody put a page together where they collected all the behind-the-scenes things from every Star Wars thing ever that they could find.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is like 10 hours of special effects behind the scenes for Star Wars.
That's super cool.
For Star Wars, yeah. And this is a really special one, close to my heart right here. This is a link to a PBS show that was created in 1988 called Computer Dreams.
Okay.
And
my gosh, this is awful.
You have got to go through. And man, just watch this thing. And this is in 1988. This is what people were talking about when it came to computers, and it has a lot of early stuff in it from Pixar, including the lamp thing and all that before Pixar was huge or
have
was
you
anything.
seen any of the oh my gosh, this Hawaiian Punch commercial?
Yeah, Hawaiian Punch is great. You'll probably
do they have the Listerine one on here?
I
Do you remember the Listerine commercial? I think that was Pixar that did that.
I don't think that's on there, but the Sparkles, the Crest Sparkle toothpaste commercials, and there's one of the first commercials done with CG.
Yeah.
Man, this is the TV show that I had recorded on VHS in '88. I was 8 years old, and I watched this video over and over and over and over again because I wanted to do this so bad. And the one that influenced me the most was Red's Dream, which was Pixar. I didn't know it at the time. And seeing the beginning,
that Samsung one is pretty nice.
Yeah. And the company that did I think it was a immersion microwave or immersion dishwasher or toaster commercial. It was the company that did what's the one, the VFX company that went out of business that did the Tiger movie.
Oh,
the tiger in the boat.
I know what you're talking about.
But they're in there at the time, which is crazy to think. And when you see the rain coming down at the beginning of Red's Dream, and you see the outside of the store, the bicycle store, and the neon sign, and the rain's coming down, that scene was so ultra realistic to me as a kid. I was like, I want to do that scene right there. That is so cool. That was like, and even when I got into 3D, I wanted to build these exteriors of like just outdoor places, cold, dark, gas station at night, that kind of thing. Because I don't know, that spoke to me for some reason, and I strayed away from 3D for a long time throughout my life, and I came back around to it, and it's really cool to watch this. But this was my heaviest influence as a kid. This entire show, I know it front to back. My brother and I used clips from it as special effects in our videos we made with our video cameras, kids.
That's funny.
And
how far in is Red's Dream?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you. You could just Google Red's Dream and you'll find it. And it's amazing to think what they were doing in '88. And the thing is, in '88, I had a Color Computer 3. It was a Tandy computer from Radio Shack, and there was no way it was capable of doing that stuff. But I was like, how? I was programming QBasic, and I'm like, how do I get this computer to do that? I don't understand. I wanted to so hard. I saw wireframes. I'm like, how do you make a wireframe? I just didn't understand how I could make it do that. But it's, it's great to watch this thing and think how people saw CG that long ago. So
yeah, I remember this one.
Almost 30 years ago.
Have you seen the Pixar, like the Pixar shorts that they've got going on? Like they've got DVDs of all the Pixar shorts that you can buy.
Yeah, I've got them.
Well, they've got some behind the scenes stuff where they're talking about, all the different ones that they've done and stuff like that. Yeah, this Red's Dream one I've seen. This is cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the behind the scenes stuff on that is good. There is a documentary about Pixar that's real good if you haven't seen that.
Did you know that Pixar used just regular lights or whatever for every movie up until
Toy Story 3?
No. It was Monsters University. Monsters University was the very first movie to use global illumination. Oh,
that's right. There's some about Toy Story 3 too that was different.
I don't know. But if you,
no GI,
it's so funny. You can actually you can tell that that they know that they're using it when watching the movie because it is all about lights in that movie.
Yeah, it's
if you watch it with the frame of mind like I am watching this for the lighting, you will see. Oh, they knew they could get away with so much more, so they decided they'd go about it. They test their limits.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting.
I never saw University. I'd be interested to see the two in comparison.
I've got it. I'll let you borrow it.
It's
all right.
I probably mentioned this on the show before, but when you watch Toy Story 1,
oh my gosh, I saw sorry. I saw it a little while ago and I was like, everything looks so like plasticky, and flat. It's crazy.
It's specular. There's not a lot of reflection unless they really need it, which is understandable. But
yep.
When you watch that now, it's like, oh, I could make that.
Yeah, totally.
But then you watch Toy Story 3 and you're like, oh, God, that's awesome looking.
Yeah, totally.
It's amazing just between the 3 movies how crazy advanced it got.
Totally.
Speaking of the whole 10-year thing. So
yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
So almost dailies.
I don't know what that is.
That's the new thing that I'm doing, man. It's a new hashtag.
Oh yeah, is that the thing that you posted on Facebook earlier?
Yeah, I posted on everything. I was trying to find something to do with our whatchamacallit account, with our I wanted to say Imager account, our Instagram account.
Oh, word.
And just wanted to be able to post a picture of something. And here's the deal. I don't have the discipline to do dailies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and maybe even discipline's not a good word for it.
What is
schedule?
Someone I'm looking at your Twitter and you posted it and someone said something, you said, I don't understand.
Oh, that was the guy. No, that was a bot. That was a bot. Yeah, I posted that. I don't
understand.
I posted that and a bot said something back in German. You should translate that and tell me what it said, because it was so ridiculous. Maybe I can go back through my history real quick. They said, "Schaust du es den Asch wirklich jeden Tag?" Oh, view translation. How about that? Really, every day do you watch it?
Hold on, I'm getting something different.
Are you? It's at Rocket Beansbot.
You look it because really every day. I don't know.
Maybe it triggered it because of the hashtag. I don't know what that would even mean.
I don't know. That's funny.
I have no idea. But it's about schedule, man. It's not about like the discipline. I used to do, for a while, I did a podcast every day. And it was a little 5-minute tech podcast. And it's not that I can't do it every day. It's I don't have the schedule to be able to do it every day. Like if I'm off on the road doing something, I can't sit here in front of Cinema 4D and get it done. I'm not gonna lie to myself and tell them, and say I can't do it. And so you should do these too to help get more of them in here. But I'm going to try and do something. I understand the concept. It's a great concept of doing something every day. And a lot of people have done this for a while. Like Beeple has done it for a while.
Yeah, totally.
But, I see more and more people doing it. And I'm like, man, I just need to make myself do it. But I can't do it every day.
Yeah.
So the hashtag is almost daily.
Almost daily. I like that.
Because it's just when you can do it, and it's really good. I learned a lot. The first one is just a CD, but you don't even know what I put into that little CD, and all the texturing and the layering and the different not reflectance because it was Octane, the different roughness layers and the specular layers, and what I even did on the geometry on the thing to make it work right. And so if you want to do it, my suggestion, I'm doing 3000 by 3000 because it's square for something like Instagram. 300 DPI. I'm doing my finishing in After Effects. Because two reasons. Number one, I like the non-destructiveness of the layers in After Effects as opposed to Photoshop. I get around in Photoshop pretty well, but I just use After
create
Effects
everything
more.
to smart objects.
Yeah, I know, but here's my main reason for it. I usually do all my all my Octane finishing in After Effects.
Right.
So most of the time I'm doing motion. And so if I'm going to do this practice and my color finishing, I'm just going to keep up my practice in After Effects.
No, I gotcha.
You can do the same thing. So the first piece is up. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we're Brograph Toots, and you can see that, because I don't really have much to put on Instagram, but I want us to be able to have something out there, and I know a lot of people use it.
I like the hashtag almost daily. That's
almost
funny.
daily. I looked too to see if anybody else had used it, but I didn't see it anywhere. Not as far as this stuff goes. So, my other thing with that is My
I like
philosophy.
the thumbprint that you put on there. That's cool.
Yeah, thanks. Here's my theory: is that throwing garbage geometry into a scene is not art.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see so much of it. It's just there's a bunch of
there's
stuff.
a lot of MoGraph cloner. You know,
and
simple MoGraph cloner. Create a
tearing
camera.
apart points and lines and
Hashtag model every day.
throw a model
Hashtag
garbage every day.
3D is life.
Yeah, model a bunch of garbage geometry every day. I didn't want to do that either, and
That's
I
why
feel
it's
like
almost daily.
a lot of people do that though. You know, it's like Homer Simpson when he just mashes together the barbecue grill and it's art. It's like that's what I feel like. I can't make myself get a bunch of balls and a cylinder and throw some shiny reflectance material on it and then
create a Verizon commercial
and put an Instagram filter on it and call it a daily because it's just garbage. There's no reason. There was no framing to it. There was no theme to it. There was no reason. It's just because that's what you had and you think it looks cool because you put a light on it.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm an idiot for thinking that, but you know.
You are.
Maybe
just
I'm
not
wrong
for thinking that.
I mean, you know. I can't think I'm wrong though.
Word.
Nobody ever got ahead by always thinking they're wrong. Right? Octane Alpha 3. I know you're raring to go. A couple of things.
Sorry. I'm like I'm totally cashed right now.
I've been in bed not talking to anybody for 5 days. It's just ready to come out.
Sorry. I'll start calling you on my way home now.
Hey, sweetie, how's your day?
Did you make us any money today?
Make us any money, bitch?
No. I stayed at home watching Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
By the way, anytime I call you after work and ask you if you worked on anything, don't take it as don't take it as I'm checking in on you.
Oh no, I know.
Okay.
I know. Octane Alpha 3 for Mac. We probably didn't talk about this, but the Octane version 3 Alpha 2, I think, man, it's so hard to keep up with these. For PC only is out in the forums for Otoy Octane under the Cinema 4D thread. Yeah, that's deep. That's really hard to find.
Yeah, I and you told me about it and I couldn't find it. I was going to install it, but I couldn't find it. So
it's at the top. He pins those threads, but you have to go in there to.
Yeah.
I want to call him who's the DJ? Steve. I
don't know.
I saw him on Robot Chicken the other day.
Oh, did you?
He has the same name, I think. The latest version was only in PC, and he said it was going to come out for Mac because I wanted to try, obviously Octane version 3. And so I was waiting, and I went and I checked up on it the other day, and from the very bottom of that thread, what I found is that the alpha version 3 of Octane 3 base version, like the actual render engine, is supposed to have another dev kit, another dev developer version coming out very soon. So he's hanging on for that because like if he starts on that now, they're going to come out with it and he's going to have to start over. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to wait until Alpha 3. So when you see Alpha 3 of Octane 3 come out, then you know he's starting to work on the Mac version, and you'll be able to get the alpha version of the Mac
my gosh.
OS X Cinema 4D R17 version of that. Man, it's so like there's so many different versions.
That is quite convoluted.
Well, and you have to manage it too, because like if you have a license, you want to make sure that you have your most stable version and it's marked correctly. Because if you want to play with the new one, you got to take it out. You got to move it around. Sometimes you have to deal with registering and re-registering if something screws up. And you want to be able to fall back on the old one if it's not working and whatnot. So it's hard to keep up with, but on other news, we have a shirt contest winner.
Yep.
Because we got some more peeps.
So we went through and we did 1, 2, 3, 4 on all the people who gave us a shout out on the iTunes stuff. And then I put 1, 2, 3, 4 in a random number generator, and it came out with number 4. So our winner is Casey_V. So
nice.
He is our shirt contest winner. Casey, if you're listening, send us an email to Brograph. What is it? Is it Brograph at Brograph.com?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Brograph at Brograph.com. Tell us,
I got that working. I don't even know if we said it on the show yet.
No, I think we did last time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We did last time. So anyway,
okay, cool.
Send us your info. We'll get you a t-shirt.
We'll
get
your
that out to you.
size.
Yeah.
Address. KCV said Dave and Matt's weekly podcast is about more than just motion graphics and Cinema 4D.
That's right.
Some episodes aren't even about that at all.
Most episodes aren't about that at all.
As a freelancer for the last 5 years, everything they talk about and all the thoughts that travel through their conversation are instantly relatable to my experiences. It's great to know I'm not the only one trying to find balance in the industry. The Cinema 4D advice is insightful, and they're both advocates for Octane Render. Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks for keeping me company on my walk to work every morning.
Word.
And I didn't see this one, but this one was in the. I know you put this one in the pool. But this was on January 4th.
No, I didn't put that one in the pool because it was till the end of the year.
Oh, it was to the end of the year.
Yep.
Okay.
Remember, those were the rules.
Those were the rules.
But we appreciate the review.
But I love the title. Immigrant, thanks, y'all. Thanks for doing this. This is the first time I've read it. Thanks for doing this. I've been searching for a podcast that focuses on motion graphics, and I was at the point of almost doing one myself. Thanks for your time, insights, and sharing your experiences and ideas. Much appreciated by this recently solo motion graphics designer and compositor like me.
Word.
The recent episode focusing on Nuke was great, and I've finally had some time to devote to learning Nuke. It was very timely. Thanks, and don't stop. And we need to get Joe, not only to get us our microphone back, but to do
our average rating is 5 stars.
Nice. Dude, look at that.
We've got 7 ratings.
We have 7 5-star ratings.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty pimp, dog.
Word.
I have no idea how many listeners we have.
No. Well, apparently we have 7.
7, yeah. But don't stop. I know you don't get a t-shirt, but please
give us a shout out on iTunes.
Give us a shout out. And on other notes in relation to that, we've got the Craptacular Turd Polishing Contest is beginning to take shape.
Is it?
I talked to Lance this week, and I said, are you ready to design the Craptacular logo? So there's 2 logos that he's going to do for us. Number 1 is the Craptacular logo of the contest.
Okay.
And then the other one's going to be the logo that we're actually going to use for the contest.
Nice.
Now, I'm not expecting 1 million people to actually enter this, because we're not like the biggest tutorial website in the galaxy here, but I imagine that we'll get a fairly low number, but some good submissions. And this is probably going to be another chance to win a t-shirt if you missed out on the iTunes deal.
Word.
We're going to, if you haven't heard about this, we're going to have Lance design us just a terrible flat 2D logo, something a client would give you that is just a piece of garbage.
Now, is he going to give it to him in a JPEG, or is he actually going to give it to him in an Illustrator?
I'm thinking he should give like a 10 pixel by 10 pixel GIF file. I don't know. We'll come up with something. No, it will not be Illustrator.
Oh, yeah, it should at least be
come
Illustrator.
on, man. You got to earn your t-shirt, dog.
Okay.
You got to earn it.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Yeah, you got to recreate some stuff, man. You got to get your Bezier tool on if you want to win a t-shirt.
That's so funny. Are we gonna enter this as well to show what we do?
Oh.
You're like, no, we've done enough of those.
No, we're not qualified to enter. What we're prohibited. And the last thing I wanted to mention is, we had talked about health insurance. And I think I had talked about Oscar. I signed up for Oscar. Man, I'm freaking happy with them so far.
Are you? I looked them up. They were more expensive than what my my regular insurance that I'm paying now.
But that's through work, right? You
Yeah.
you get a group discount.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Are you insuring you
Just me.
and it's just
No,
you?
just me.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The other Cigna health insurance plan that I had before, right? I knew I was changing health insurance plans. I called them. I said, I just want to double check here. Do I have to cancel this insurance? Because you already said that it's not available next year. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll write this down here. That you're going to cancel it. Here's your confirmation number. A couple weeks later, I get a letter saying in 2 days they're going to charge $400 for this crazy new plan. And I call them. They're like, oh, well, we're not able to cancel your plan. I'm like, what are you talking about? I canceled it on the phone with you. Oh, there's a note here. They were supposed to call you back and said it was our bad. We couldn't do that. I'm like,
what?
Okay, well, cancel it. Well, you got to call healthcare.gov because they put you on a new plan. I'm like, no, they didn't. I'm on Oscar now.
Yeah.
So what I do, I call up healthcare.gov, call the government, set on hold, call. They're like, no, you have a new plan, yo. They're like, we didn't put you on some new renewed plan. So I call the other place back up. I'm like, dude, you better not charge my $400 on this card. Like, it's New Year's. I'm going to Vegas. I have another health plan that I'm supposed to do. I do not need $400 more coming out. And it didn't happen. It didn't go through. However, when I got back in town, guess what is in my mailbox is a brand new shiny healthcare card.
That's funny.
Now, the same day, I got the Oscar Health Plan starter pack deal, right? And I don't know if you saw my picture on Facebook.
I did, yeah.
It is like an Apple product. So on one hand, I have the more expensive plus, more than zero copay, old and busted health insurance with a crappy piece of plastic with a bunch of convoluted text, all plastered all over it that doesn't make any sense in a blank envelope.
Yeah.
Above it is the new hotness packaging, and it has Oscar, and you open it up, and in huge letters, it's like, here is what is inside. Like, plain English makes sense, and on the inside of the box, on the other side, they kind of do a little dot of glue and paste the card in there, and all it has is a circle for Oscar on one side, and you turn it over, and it has simple writing. It says, here is what you have to pay after this amount, like, just spelled out. Just beautiful. And here, thank you for choosing us.
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of digging in order to find out what the copay and everything, or what the deductible was on the website. They just didn't have it like right out in the open.
Well, it's high.
Yeah, it's very high.
It's high, but like I said, I only care about the deductible if I'm in the hospital.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's whatever, because if I'm getting $0 prescriptions, I'm getting $0 doctor visits, I'm getting $0 labs.
Yeah.
Who cares? That's the only thing that I really use. And if I go in the hospital, what's $1,000, extra on my $45,000 bill?
Yeah. Is your deductible only $1,000?
No. It's high. It's like $5,900.
Yeah.
But like the other ones, you pay $200 more a month, so you can get $1,000 or something.
That's true.
It's like, well, why don't I? I mean. Like, why do I even care about that? If I'm paying $0 anyway, unless I'm in the hospital, if I go to the hospital and I have to pay $2,000 extra more dollars and put on a payment plan later, who cares? Who cares? I'll worry about that if it happens, God forbid. That's the way I look at it. Not everybody does.
I had an MRI and I had to pay like $6,000. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was on a payment plan for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? Nothing was wrong with my head.
But here's the thing, man. They got the whole app. The app is awesome.
We are not sponsored by Oscar, by the way.
No, and that's why I'm talking about it too. Because if we were sponsored by them, it'd be different.
Yeah, I wouldn't be saying that I didn't really like it.
And the app was super awesome. It's super easy to set up, and you can go through your history. It uses the fingerprint authentication.
That's
it
cool.
opens. It said you talked to this person. They prescribed this, and then you click on that, and it shows the interactions, and it shows the dosage they told you to take, and the whole. I mean, it's so
cool.
Perfect. There's no paperwork and things you have to dig up. So I was sick the other day, and I knew I had a sinus infection. And I always do, of course. That's all it ever is. And I'm like, I'm going to try this because I'm hard up in bed. I don't want to go sit in a cold doctor's office with people who have the flu.
And, you know, if you don't have a deductible, I mean, that's my number one thing. I don't want to go to a doctor because I don't want to spend the money on the deductible.
Yeah, or if it's a weekend, you don't want to go to emergency clinic and pay more.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, I'm going to try this. A doctor called me on the phone within 5 or 10 minutes, tops.
That's cool.
I paused my making a murderer. She talked to me for like 20 or 25 minutes. You know how much longer that is than a doctor in the office?
Yeah, seriously.
That's like at least twice as much, right?
Yeah.
We went over everything. We made sure that's what we thought it was. She said, okay, look, if that's what you think it is, and we've gone through this checklist of things, if you feel like you need an antibiotic, I'm going to go ahead and call this in. You can go pick it up or you can not go pick it up. It's up to you. But if you're not doing better and you still have a fever, by the end of the day, go pick it up. So she did that. We got off the phone. I get a call from my pharmacy 5 minutes later saying that it's ready. I mean, it just went through like that. They didn't fax it in. It's electronic. Boom, there it is. They call me up. Boom, it's in the bag. It's ready to go if you want it. I drove up there and $0. Didn't cost me anything. It didn't cost me to go to the doctor. I didn't have to drive to a doctor. I didn't have to pay for a prescription. So yeah, you're paying a little bit more money. You got a higher deductible, but man, so far my overall rating for them is really high. I really like it.
That's good.
So I just wanted to follow up on that because we had talked about that a while ago. So
word. I bought my wife a crock pot that is Wi-Fi enabled.
Oh, dude, you don't even know. If I didn't already have a crock pot, I would have bought that.
Dude, it like it's so funny because I wanted to do a first world problem because we wanted to cook something in it when we got it out, but it had to update its firmware. So yeah,
That's
it's cool.
great.
Like we could just throw stuff in there, set ourselves a timer, or I can even set up a timer on it, you know, and then just be like, oh, I'm gonna turn it on at work. Have it ready by the time I get home.
That's my biggest worry with the crock pot is not being home and it starts on fire.
Oh, yeah, but most of the time I'm using a crock pot, I'm not home anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's so what?
I mean, at least with the Wi-Fi, if the thing's burning up, then the Wi-Fi probably stops working. And I mean, if the Wi-Fi is working, you know it's not on fire.
Right, I guess.
Okay. That's my biggest thing. I would have bought one, but I already have one.
They're much more expensive than a regular crock pot, I will say that.
That's my first world problem.
Yeah.
I want a Wi-Fi crock pot, but I already have a crock pot.
We already had a crock pot too. But, you know.
Mine's pretty new, though. I couldn't justify it. So does it give you other options? Like, what is the...
No, it's so you've got, you know, you can... It's just like a regular crock pot where it's high, medium, and warm or whatever. High, low, and warm. And then, let's see. Let me go into my app. My food app.
Somehow we're on after show discussion.
Yeah, I know, right?
But it's fine.
It's all right.
It's fine.
Rate us on iTunes, do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then just listen to us talk. Oh, you can name it. We named ours Davy Crockett.
I get it.
Oh, boy.
So if you have multiple Wi-Fi crock pots, you know which one.
Or, you know, other Belkin Wi-Fi stuff.
Do they have a pressure cooker?
Oh, I don't know.
I want a Wi-Fi pressure cooker. That's my new thing. I want to learn about pressure cooking.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can also set a timer, you know, what temperature you want, cook timer, and it'll tell you exactly when your meal will be ready, which is cool.
Seal the juices.
Seal the juices.
I don't know.
I like that you can name it. It took us a while to come up with Davy Crockett.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Named it after me, right? That's why you named it that, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So anyway.
All right. So
thanks for sticking with us till the end.
Yeah. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review. You can also subscribe to us if you're just listening to the plain Jane audio file. Use a podcatcher.
Yeah, like a rich person. Don't be
Subscribe
poor
like a rich person with a free app. And you can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. You can get a Brograph t-shirt that supports us. It says no Brograph, no Mograph. And if you'd like to take our relationship to the next level, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. Of course,
Grindr.
What? No.
We're not on Grindr.
I mean, maybe your account. We're on YouTube and Brograph.com. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. If you haven't even seen our stuff before, maybe you're only a podcast listener.
That's cool.
Crazy to think that people only know of us from the podcast when we're mainly a tutorial site. But
Yeah.
add us up on your whatchamadoozy. Hit us up. Even if you don't like watch a lot of YouTube, just add us to help us get ratings and get popular and make money.
Yeah.
And
we don't make a lot of money.
No.
We've probably spent more money than we've actually made.
Definitely, man. This thing's just getting started. We haven't even sold our software
It's
yet.
just getting started, and we've been doing it for 3 years.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think we've really been serious about it till probably the last 3 months, but
Yeah. Not since the podcast.
yeah, that's basically what it is. And that is it, I think. That's it.
If you guys have any questions, email us, brograph@brograph.com. We finally got that fixed.
Yeah, it works now, so that's good. And that about wraps it up. We'll be back next week. I'll be getting in town, but I'll be here. I'll be here. I come in on that day, so next week.
I'll be home anyway.
You will?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, until next week, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
Have a good one.
Later, bros.
It's pretty good, I guess. Brograph.com, an online resource for learning critical components of Cinema 4D and After Effects, specifically catered to help you prevail as a motion graphic designer.
What's up, bros? Welcome to another Brograph motion graphics tutorial.
We give you professional time-saving tips, shortcuts, and lessons that help give you an edge over your fellow designers. Not only this, but our new Brograph Talks help you in your file management, hardware configuration, and client relations.
I love projects that scare me. When our art director comes to us and asks for something that I had never done before, man, it gets me pumped.
Join us for live sessions, check out our crazy Cinema 4D experiments, or just watch our Fun with Brograph series, where we show you practical applications for techniques learned in previous tutorials. Do this from the beginning, and your client is going to respect that, and they're going to respect you, and they're going to respect your time. Subscribe today and get automatic updates on the latest tutorials, tricks, tips, and inspiration brought to you by industry professionals Dave Koss and Matt Milstead, all with a slight dash of dry humor peppered in. Real nice banana.
Brograph.com, your source for tutorials that will help you thrive in the motion graphics industry. Don't just play around with Cinema 4D and After Effects, master it, and make money by becoming indispensable at your workplace.
We don't care how you get here, folks. Just get here. Subscribe now to Brograph Tutorials. It's pretty good, I guess.